Hello, we are Gossip Group. We will present about topic climate action. Let's get started. Climate action together with the first one, climate change, second, greenhouse, and the last one, global warming. The climate change. Climate change refers to long-term shift in temperature and water pattern. These shifts may be natural, such as through variation in solar cycle. Burning fossil fuel generators greenhouse gas emission that act like a blanket wrap around the world, trapping the sun heat and rising temperature. What are the causes of climate change? 1. A huge proponent of climate change. 2. Agriculture of greenhouse gas. 3. Deforestation of coast. How climate change affects humans? Gradual temperature increase will cause the climate, and natural balance to fluctuate, which is dangerous to humans and all living things on Earth. Economic research for climate-related disasters. Between 1918 and 2020, climate-related activities caused economic losses totaling. The EU adaptation strategy aims to build resilience and ensure that Europe to manage the risk and adapt to the impact of climate change. Thus, minimizing economic losses and other arms climate-related hazards such as temperature extremes, having precipitation, and drought, pose linked to human health and can lead to substantial economic losses. Monitoring the impact of such hazards is important for informing policy and ensure that appropriate actions are taken to minimize damage. The EU adaptation strategy aims to put the frontier of knowledge on adaptation so that we can gather more and better data on climate-related risks and loosen a part of its smarter adaptation objectives. Between 1918 and 2020, weather and climate-related activities accounting for around 18% total economic losses caused by natural hazards in the EEA member states, accounting to EUR 487 billion. This is equivalent to EUR 11.9 billion per year. However, because a relatively small member 10% of unit event was responsible for a large proportion, around 16% of the economic losses, resulting in high variability for year to year. This is difficult to identify trends. The average annual inflation corrected losses was around EUR 9.5 billion in 1981 to 1990. 11 billion in 1991 to 2000, 13.2 billion in 2001 to 2010, and 14.5 billion in 2011 to 2020. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change predicts that climate-related active events will become even more frequent around the world. This could affect multiple sections and cause systemic failures across Europe, leading to greater economic losses. However, the future cost of climate-related hazards depend not only on the frequency and severity of events, but also on several other factors such as the size of population and the value of excess exports. The economic impact of climate-related activities varies considerably across countries. Its absolute term, the highest economic losses in the period 1918 to 2020 were registered in Germany, followed by France and Italy. The EU adaptation strategy aims to promote action at national levels, as all countries have already adopted a national adaptation policy. The Climate ADAPT platform, developed by the European Commission and the EEA, support action by sharing knowledge on climate change and its impact, adaptation strategy and plans and case study. The greenhouse. What are greenhouse gases? Greenhouse gases are those gases in the atmosphere that have an influence on the Earth's energy balance. They cause the so-called greenhouse effect. Why do greenhouse gas emissions matter? Human emission matter of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases are primarily driving of climate change and present one of the world's most pressing challenges. How do greenhouse gas affect the Earth? The concentration of the gas. Scientists measure greenhouse gas concentration in parts per billion and even parts per trillion. 1 part per billion is an equivalent of 1 drop of water mixed into around 30 gallons of liquid, which amounts to the fuel tank of a medium-sized car. How long the gas stay in the atmosphere? Any of the gas metal amounts may remain in the atmosphere for a few years to tens of thousands of years. These gas are likely in the atmosphere long enough to become real mixed, and the atmosphere in the atmosphere is about the same globally regardless of where the emission comes from. How badly affect this atmosphere? Certain gases are more responsible for global warming than others. Every greenhouse gas has a corresponding global warming potential. To reflect how long it stays in the air and how aggressively it absorbs energy. Why is the increase of greenhouse gas a big issue? Greenhouse gas pose severe environmental and health issues. They cause climate change by trapping heat with individual effect very special in already areas climate. Greenhouse gas also contribute to air pollution and smoke, which can cause respiratory and pulmonary disease. How can humans reduce the level of greenhouse gas? As we echo about the main culprits of greenhouse gas emission, a large corporation, but we individuals are responsible too. Reducing our global carbon footprint requires anyone to make a small effort. But thankfully, it's easy to do your best to solve global warming. Switch to an energy efficient utility provider. You would be surprised how many utility companies still own fossil fuel for their customer energy needs, but you don't have to contribute.
Diet fit and walk or cycle where you can. Eat low on the food chain or even follow a plant-based diet. Cook and buy in bulk to save money and energy. Wash your clothes in the cooler water, so your washing machine doesn't have to heat the water. Replace your light bulb with energy-saving bulbs once they run out. Replace regular household items with eco-friendly, plastic-free options or even make your own. Eat local in-season food. We describe a case study for Sri Lanka that explores a wide range of options for reduced greenhouse gas emissions. We find that shifting electricity price to reflect long-run marginal cost had a significant beneficial impact on the environment. Building the few remaining large hydro facilities would significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Transportation sector measures necessary to ameliorate local human air pollution problems, such as vehicle inspection and maintenance programs, also bring about significant reduction of GHG emissions. Global warming is a term used for the observed century scale like in the average temperature of the Earth's climate system. That the global warming is not occurring and so neither is climate change. These are natural cyclic events unrelated to human activity. That the global warming is occurring as a result primarily of human activity, and so climate change is also the result of human activity. Weather extreme because rising global temperature warms the average climate. Heat wave will be more intense than in the past.
Recurring drought more frequent drought extreme. Cities around North America and Northern Europe may experience extreme cold. A giant whirlwind, global warming causes ocean world temperatures to rise, flooding the world from amounts of ice at the north and south poles that is melting into the sea. Variable ocean currents, this will have a hard impact on both land and marine life. The sea becomes acidic when the global temperature rises. The changing climate affects the cycle and life cycle of various animals and plants. Emerging and recurrent disease small organisms such as mosquitoes, insects, viruses, and germs It is expected that the outbreak of the disease will spread to the other regions of the world more easily. First one, power your home with renewable energy. Choose a utility company that generates at least half the power from wind or solar and has been certified by Green E Energy. The second, winterize. Building heating and cooling are among in the biggest use of energy. The third, invest in energy efficient appliances. Energy efficient is lowest cost way to reduce emission. When you go to shopping, look for the Energy Star label. It will tell you which are the most efficient. The fourth, reduce water waste. Saving water reduce carbon pollution too. That's because it takes a lot of energy to pump, heat, and treat your water. So, take a shorter shower, turn off the tap while brushing your teeth, and switch to the water sense lamp feature and appliance. The fifth, buy a better bulb. LED light bulb used to 80% less energy than conventional incandescent. They also shallow in the long run. The sixth, pull the plug. Taken together to outlet in your home. Aligning powering about 65 different device and average load for a home is US. So don't leave fully charged device plug in your home outlet. Unplug rarely used device or plug them into power strip and charmer. The seventh, drive a fuel efficient vehicle. Gas smart cars such as hybrid are fully electric vehicle. Save fuel and money, and one of cars are light truck meet 2025 clean car standards, which mean average 54 miles per gallon. There will be a mainstay. The eighth, rating plants, trains, and automobiles. Quality public transportation leads to less money spent on fuel and less pollution in the air. Heck say, if you can take a train in trees, do that. The ninth, change your carbon profile. You can offset the carbon you produce by purchasing carbon offset, which represents clean your power that you can add to the nation's energy grid independent of power from fossil fuels. Economic losses from climate-related disaster divide into the two parts.
The impact on global economy. The impact of climate change on global economy is the most obvious. This is reflected in the value of the damage caused by various natural disasters that might have the cost of relief effect or setting a budget to prevent future damage. Climate change affects fundamental human factors around the world, including access to water resources, food production, health and environment. Millions of people the world will face food shortage, lack of drinking water, and the occurrence of floods. Operations to reduce greenhouse gas. Operations to reduce greenhouse gas emissions must start as soon as possible and must be taken seriously because if no action to taken, the GDP of the world each year will be reduction of not less than 5%. Climate change has a severe impact on the economic growth and national development of all countries around the world, especially poor countries will be affected. The impact on the economy of Thailand is what found that severe disasters such as the Great Flood in 2011 affected both the household sector, business and industrial sectors almost all over the country. Is what found that the total damage value had an impact on the gross domestic product or GDP of the year of 2011, a decrease of 24,000 million baht. Agriculture field. Agriculture, the yield model show that rice and sugar cane will be positively impacted over the long term, but cassava and corn yield will be negatively affected. Of such produce will result in lower income of farmer households and affect decrease in overall production. It was also found that the aforementioned reduction also result in a reduction in revenue collection by the government. Tourism branch is by using the econometrics model to estimate the relationship between temperature change and the amount of rain and the amount tourists. The result of the calculation show that a temperature rise of 1 degree Celsius reduce the number of tourists. Industrial field, the relationship between climate change and overall productivity of the industrial sector shows that the relationship when the temperature is increased by 1 degree Celsius, it will result in production. The labor image was reduced by 5 to 6% compared to the base case. Health sector analysis of the impact of climate change on malaria, dengue, and malnutrition shows the impact value in DALY. DALY is disability adjusted life year unit, which presents 1 year's inability to live a normal life. Global warming is caused by carbon dioxide emissions, so therefore the idea was to bring green hydrogen energy to use because it can be synthesized naturally and when it is burned only contain water and oxygen. Australia aims to be the world leading hydrogen exporter by setting 7 goals. They are: first, produce 11,000 tons of green hydrogen per year. Second, electrolyzer decomposition rate is 700 MV. Then it had 10,000 hydrogen powered vehicle and 20% of NSW government's heavy transport vehicle will switch to hydrogen. The first, there is network of 10% mixed gas system. Fifth, 12 gigawatts of renewable energy generation capacity. Then there are 100 hydrogen supply stations. And the last, hydrogen price have dropped to below AUD 2.8 per kilo. Stipulate 3 items in the development of green hydrogen project as follow: enable industry development, lay industry foundation, drive rapid scale. By finding ways to reduce global warming, this project will become one of the mega trends in the future as well. The green hydrogen project still has both advantages and limitations. Advantages: 100% sustainable. Green hydrogen does not emit pollutants both during combustion and during production. Storage: easy to store. Versatile: green hydrogen can be converted to electricity or synthetic gas. Transportable: it can travel to the same gas pipeline and infrastructure. Limitation: hydrogen is difficult to store and difficult to transport. Producing hydrogen with clean fuel is costly. Requires advanced technology. Safety issue: hydrogen is inflammable. Case study of global warming. At present, Thailand has made effort to push the country toward clean energy, in which Thai entrepreneurs should study green hydrogen production plants around the world to bring back the develop our business in the energy sector because it can replace the traditional energy used at a low cost. We would like to end this presentation. Thank you for your attention.